What's going on, people? What's going on? What's happening? Welcome to United View. Welcome to the overview show with this week's guest, Mr. Turkish in the house. How you doing, bro? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Can't complain. International break now. Needed it, but it's here now.
So no, man, you lot was building a little momentum. You know what I mean? Maybe we could have gone again. You know what I mean? Keep building, keep building.
Well, I guess after the Brighton one, you know what it is. After that Brighton performance, I don't know, man. I think Arteta needs a couple of weeks now with them in training and get them back to that Tottenham mentality, because I didn't see none of that performance against Brighton.
Yeah, it was a whole different ball game. I'm sure we're going to get into that. Obviously, we're going to get into my team. We're going to talk Liverpool City. We're going to talk Chelsea. Watford have sacked their manager, the first sacking of the season as well.
Yeah.
Ranieri taking over there. We've got that to talk about. We've got a lot to get into, man. We've got a lot to get into. Obviously, United channel, I like to start off with United, good, bad, or indifferent. And it's definitely bad at the moment, or indifferent at the moment. Certainly not good. From your perspective, let's jump straight into it. Man United 1, Everton 1. How did you see United's performance? How do you see the pressure building on Oli or the squad, or is it too early for you? How do you see it from the outside looking in?
Can I mention something first?
Of course you can.
Do you remember when Lingard used to dance at the Emirates? You know how much pain that used to be.
I'm going to sing you. I'm going to take you out.
I used to try and just, see past, act like I didn't care. But inside, I was like, who's this guy dancing at Man Stadium? And then when I see Townsend do Sue yesterday, I thought, yes, let them feel it now. Flex, you're my guy. But a lot of United fans and Arsenal fans, we go back in terms of bants and whatnot from the league challenging days. So to see that, I was like, yes, Townsend. Townsend now, forget the Tottenham history. That's my guy.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. Hold on a minute. Yeah, now all of a sudden you're up his ass. Yeah, this is ex-Tottenham, man. Is that what we're doing here, yeah? Is that what we're doing?
On. New hairline, Sue, in the Old Trafford. What's going on? You can't write it. You can't write it.
You know the worst thing is, yeah, I hear you on that. I from where I am, sometimes he got like crowded by his own players. I couldn't really see. It was only after the game I'm seeing it. I've gone, nah. Vile, absolute vile. Then I saw his interview after. He goes, it's not that. Like, I grew up watching him. Like, he's my idol. Piss off, mate.
Yeah,
piss off.
And
he got the shirt. He got the shirt as well. Bruv, you just made me vex again. But yeah,
Townsend's gonna tell that story in 20 years. Look, I done his celebration and I got his shirt at the end of the game,
bro. And the worst thing is, there's a video that I'm supposed to be doing with Townsend about something else. It's not even really football. It's about something else. It's in the pipeline. I rang the person who's sorting it out. I said, he needs to apologize. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So God knows whether that video is actually going to happen again. 100%. But what did you make of the game and the performance of Man United right now, man? What are you saying?
You know what? With Ole, I kind of know what it is with Ole now. And a lot of people are confident in that United game. I do the Big Six show, and most predictions were a Man United win. A few 2-1s and a few 3-1s. But me and one other, we went for a draw. I think Rafa Benitez was key to that. Man United's team is levels to Everton's, but Benitez is levels to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, that's the balance that I see. And I think Benitez got it done without Calvert-Lewin, without Richarlison. They're probably their two main attacking threats. They still managed to get a goal and a point away from Old Trafford. And it's not usually somewhere Everton go and get anything from. Usually United do their thing at Old Trafford against Everton, but
yeah, and they did last year as well. They got a draw when we was winning as well, and won and got a goal in the last minute. Like, it's not good. It's not good.
It's Ole, man. It's Ole. As an Arsenal fan, I love it because we have a manager that's hanging on by a thread as well, and tends to pick up good form right when it seems like the pressure's getting too much. You've gone into the international break now. I don't see any rumors about Ole and his job and whatnot.
The opposite, bro. All the reports coming out is that he's very safe. You know what I mean? They still believe in him. We're in a good position in the league.
He's gonna be managing against Leicester, and if you go turn around and beat Leicester, even though Leicester haven't started the season well either, it's gonna look very different. You're 2 points off the top.
Yeah, which is insane.
It's mad. I don't know how have you managed to drop points in like the last. I don't know what's going on.
Because I'll tell you why, Turkish. Because the bigger teams have been playing against each other and they've been draws.
Yeah, Chelsea, City, Liverpool.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Chelsea, Liverpool as well. And because Chelsea because Man City already had a loss on their record or whatever, and a draw somewhere else. When they turned over Chelsea, it kind of balanced it over. Then they got a draw yesterday. That's the only reason. Because we're in that position, we ain't played no one yet. And now we're about to see.
And we just spoke about your fixtures coming up, and there's a few big ones there. So it's all mad.
Connect Real knows what it is for Man United. Next 10 games is very, very peak. But historically, Man United do very well in these type of pressure cooker situations where you almost look at it like, oh, this could be turning. I'm not really sure where the next win's going to come from. And then all of a sudden, they just go on this little mini run that gets us out of trouble and looking quite in a positive light. But I just see that running out soon. I really do. There's only so long you could do it, especially now. You saw that game yesterday. We'll talk about it in a bit. City, Liverpool, proper football, proper clubs. Not proper clubs, but proper managers playing proper football is what it was. Yeah. Obviously, the size of our club is to not be, spoken bad about. But this football that I saw yesterday versus where my team is, I just thought.
When you say proper clubs, I get it because, okay, it's not proper in a historical sense. Maybe, okay, with Liverpool, yeah, Man City, Chelsea, not so much. But proper as in they want to win.
Yeah.
That's proper. That's a proper football club for me. They want to win. They want to achieve. They want to move forward, So for me, that is right. They are proper football clubs.
100%. G421 says, big up Flex and Turkish Monday Blues, man. 100%. Big up, man. A lot of people enjoy this link up. So do we. Yeah. My prediction for the next game. Let's go for the prediction for the next game for Man United. Leicester away. What are you saying?
It's that game for Leicester where they can start their season. You see it, like
Man United rock up, yeah.
And you know what? I'm surprised with Rodgers and Iheanacho. He hasn't started. Well, he started Iheanacho this weekend, but that was his first start of the season. When you see how Iheanacho ended last season, that's quite surprising.
Proper.
And they got the win. And well, they didn't get the win. They got pegged back by Palace in the end.
And they got pumped as well. They were playing shit as well, Leicester.
Yeah, I don't even know how they were 2-0 up at one stage. But
madness.
We're going to get into Vieira and Palace soon as well.
Yeah, we will.
Some credit is due there. But I think Leicester, Man United, I have to go for a draw again. I see on the fence with these games. I feel like it's going to be like a 2-2 again or a 1-1.
Big up Tad Bakes. He says draw 1-1 as well. I've got a feeling it's going to be a draw. Our away record is incredible. We haven't lost in so long.
Yeah.
But that's that can be 100%. We've got the longest standing now. But doesn't mean we're necessarily going to win. Doesn't mean it's going to alleviate what's going on. I think it's be a tough place to go, regardless of how poorly they're playing. They are there for the taking because they're not playing very well. But like you said, it could be the chance for them to start their season. So I'm going to go over 1-1 as well. Just before we move on, how surprised were you with Solskjaer's changes? Benching Ronaldo, benching Pogba. He sticks by it, says it was the right decision. Martial got a goal, to be fair to him. How did you see that as a rival fan?
I don't think a goal justifies, a correct decision over 90 minutes. I don't think, United showed enough over that 90 minutes for me to say, all right, the lineup was right. It was just unlucky, or it just wasn't your day. Listen, you got to play your Pogbas and Ronaldos. Okay, Ronaldo, yeah, he's 30, 6 years of age. He's played a few games so far this season, but he's, in immaculate condition. And if you, this isn't an easy game against Everton. So when I saw Ronaldo out, I think to myself, you're sticking your neck on the line here, and far too often when you have stuck your neck on the line with decisions like this, it tends to backfire. And in my opinion, it did. I think if you start that game with Pogba, Ronaldo, you probably win it.
Derek says, Ollie did the right thing. Ronaldo needed the rest before the internationals. A lot of people saying that's in it. I'm saying it's international break. It's not like we've got a next game. I mean, I get it. He's going to go away and probably play 90 minutes in 2 games. But, bro, you have to think about the club thing. That if he's going to go away for international break, he's going to get a few days rest before they play again. You know what I mean? Within that 2-week period, it's quite spaced out. Have a little phone call with the Portuguese manager. Say, just, bring him off after 60. Just allow him a little bit, whatever. If you're playing a little minnow or something and you're winning loads, just allow him. Do that afterwards. Just take care of your bread and butter first.
Because let's be honest, like if Portugal want Ronaldo to be fit and ready for the World Cup next year, then they need to take some precaution too. And they need to look at what United are doing and United game load and whatnot, and look at their own fixtures and say to themselves, do we need Ronaldo for this? But Portugal's got a strong team. So a lot of teams they face, they should be able to get the job done without Ronaldo. But like you said, 60 minutes here, 70 minutes, 30 minutes maybe Well, he never comes off the bench, does he, for Portugal? So you won't see that happen.
Exactly. You don't want to come off the bench for anyone. Clint Sam says Turkish is a proper signing, unbiased opinions. Can he play CDM? Loving the views, gentlemen.
If I could, Arsenal could do with one. So mate, I'd be there.
Nah, man, you ain't getting in the head of Lukonga and Partey, man. They're all right, man. Leave them alone, man. You said the other day you missed Xhaka, I saw.
Nah. The title was "We Miss Xhaka." I never once in that whole interview said I miss Xhaka or we miss Xhaka. Robbie, out of nowhere, Robbie goes to me, "Did we miss Xhaka?" And I was like, "Probably."
Oh, they done you like that.
The title becomes "We Miss Xhaka." I was like, right, fuck yeah. No, but my thing is with that. We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Let's do man. So 1-1. We both predicted draws there. Yeah. Let's do Man City against Liverpool. I don't think we can not talk about that game. Obviously, what a game for the neutrals. High energy, octane stuff. Proper football, proper patterns, proper coaching, proper players. It had everything. It had everything from, you know, a tactical masterclass from City in the first half, just missing that goal, right through to Klopp taking it into his own hands and getting a reaction out of his side. Yeah. Then, you know, City getting pegged back after doing so well, believe in their system, get the next goal. Salah, world-class brilliance, get the second. Then City still just set back into their stream. Milner should have got sent off, didn't. And City were unlucky not to win the game. It was probably 2-2, probably in the balance of play. You could argue it was probably about the right result. But how did you see that game yesterday?
Matt, like you said, man, you said it all. For the neutrals, it was a mad game. For an Arsenal fan, it was an indication of how far we are off of that quality, that level of football, that level of competition. But listen, again, as an Arsenal fan, that's not my competition. Arsenal are not competing with Liverpool and Manchester City for nothing. We haven't been competing for them for nothing in the last few years. So I can just look at that game and appreciate the quality. And it's a good advert for the Premier League, you know, because, you know, we always get the advert of the smaller teams can always, you know, giant killings and whatnot in the league. But in terms of maybe a spectacle, when I was growing up, Arsenal United was a spectacle. Yeah. I think Liverpool City is the spectacle now. And
it's the new one, isn't it? It's annoying. It's annoying because you have to be honest with yourselves. That is the game to watch. That is the game to watch.
You lot, as an Arsenal fan, it's mad. You lot, it's horrible. That's your rivals.
Horrible. Both of them playing brilliant football. And you know what? Someone said it in a comment to me earlier, and I was like, so true. It's not even like we're miles off in terms of the players we got. It's like you look at the coaching and the setup and the way we play football. That's where we're miles off. Yeah. Player for player, you know, we can, and we mix it with them. You know, since Ollie's come in, I don't think Pep's beat him in the league. Like, it's very nuts because we just do that counter-attack thing against them. We could be their Achilles heel. We haven't done so well against Liverpool. I don't think we've beat Liverpool in the league since Ollie's come. So it's a bit different with them. But seeing the way they were just going at it, you know, it was like, that's what we should be doing. That's what we should be doing, especially against, you know, they're our rivals as well. And it just, I don't care. I don't care. As Man United fans will say, "Oh, never be jealous of City, mate. Never be jealous of Liverpool, etc." And when I say jealous, I mean in the terms of where we're at now, not as the size of the club or what we've won in the past. Not that, obviously not. But I'm talking about jealous of the way they play football versus the way we play football, because we play shit, horrible football.
Yeah, of course. People were saying the same thing to me when Tottenham were in the Champions League final. It's, don't be jealous of them. And it's like, it's not me being jealous of Tottenham. It's me looking at them at a place where I feel like Arsenal should be.
There you go.
Know? That's what it is. It's more envy, I guess. That's what it is. What it is.
Who do you think deserved to win that game yesterday?
Honestly, I'd say City, just about.
Yeah.
I think the way City approached the game away from home, you don't see many big teams go away from home against another big team and take it to that team. And that's what City done, especially after a transfer window where even I didn't think they'd done enough to be nailed on candidates to retain their Premier League trophy. But so far against Chelsea, they've shown what they're about. Against Liverpool, they came back into it. So if anyone was to nick it from me, it would have been fair to go to City. But I think overall, first half City, second half Liverpool, a draw was probably fair.
Yeah. Some of the standout performers, man, obviously Mo Salah, like, this guy, you know, some people raise eyebrows when you pick like your all-time Premier League 11 and that.
Yeah.
A lot of men put Salah on the right.
Yeah.
Listen, he's been unreal. And, you know, people saying like he's the best player in the world right now. Do you agree with that?
World, I can't say world. Premier League, I'd say Premier League. Yeah.
Why not the world? Who
If you're the
in
best
the
in the
world?
Premier League, you're one of the best in the world. Let me just think about it quickly. In the world.
In the world. So you obviously Mbappe's doing his thing. He's there or thereabouts, but does he do what Salah does on a consistent level? Probably not. Obviously Messi. Messi's Messi.
Yeah,
Lewandowski's Lewandowski. Who else are we really saying? Suarez does his thing a bit at Atletico. It's not really that anymore. Who we really? Neymar. All right. He's there or thereabouts-ish.
I think with Liverpool and City, I think if City do what they should be doing, it's De Bruyne. If Liverpool do what they should be doing, it's Salah.
Yeah.
And I think this season it will be that. If one of them managed to win the league, it will be Salah best player in the world or De Bruyne best player in the world. Because that Messi Ronaldo era is kind of over now in terms of
they're
levels above everyone. And like
they're not really in the same conversation a lot of times.
Lewandowski.
And they don't really play to that same, Ronaldo at Real Madrid when he was involved in everything, brucking up, man, scoring every single game, just killing it.
Yeah,
he's obviously not like Ronaldo anymore, even though his drop off is still elite. So he's 5-5 for us. Like do you know what I mean? Straight away, even though he's not involved that much in the build up and stuff like that, crucial crunch moments, he could do it. Same in Messi. He only scored his first goal against Man City the other day. It's not like he's just going there and just doing the mad thing. Salah's doing the mad thing every year.
And what's mad about that is it's in this league as well. When you look at his profile, you don't think that sort of profile would suit this league. He's small, and whatnot. A lot of people say Messi can't come over to this league and do it because he's small. Well, Salah's been doing it to a high level, and he's small. Isn't it? This is probably the most all-round version of Salah we've seen. Proper. I think this season. I feel like
he's insane, and it's weird. It's weird because it took him ages to get that good. Like, do you see what I mean? It weren't really till he come to Liverpool. He didn't arrive at Liverpool as this world-class player that everyone thought, oh my God, Liverpool just bought Salah. It's going to be curtains.
30 mil.
Right. 30 mil from Roma. It's mad. Brandon Jennings says Salah is the best at the moment. I can't lie. I got to give a big up mention to Bernardo Silva yesterday. He was incredible. Yeah, he got put on his ass by Salah. That happens. Yeah. But his overall game, and this is a guy that was probably going to leave City, his football ability is fantastic. And I said this when Grealish went there, and I'm not a Grealish hater because Man United didn't get him, or we don't need him. We don't.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of the gas, bro. Like, he's very good in it. He's very good. He's a very good player. In terms of elevating Man City and the players that they've got, I think he's 10 a penny in there. I think he's an average. The word average player in that City team is probably too strong an adjective, but I just feel like I don't think he elevates their game. I look at players like Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, De Bruyne. Yeah. They can do what Grealish, and he's looking a little bit one-trick ponyish, just really trying to just cut in, win the foul. It's not really, do you know what I mean? And then you look at someone what Foden does, levels, clear. Sterling, more effective. Look at Sterling, come on, making runs in behind. He's a different, so look, I'm not hating on Grealish. I'm just saying, everyone chill out. We'll see if he's world class and top now. For me, anyway.
I think Pep's last few years at City. I think it's going to be defined by this Grealish transfer, because I agree with you. I think I look at this summer and I say 100 million on Grealish. You haven't done enough for me to be confident to say you're going to do it. And if you asked me maybe 18 months ago or 12 months ago, summer 2020, who's worth more, Sterling or Grealish? 99% of people will say Sterling. All of a sudden, they buy Grealish to replace Sterling, and it seems like.
Mad.
And at the moment, it's working. That's what's funny to me, because I'm with you. I look at it and I think Grealish ain't really adding much, but
it's not adding it.
Working.
But you know what? Do you know what? Because I feel their system, they have players like that. They're not even playing with a striker. They put Kevin De Bruyne a false 9, or Grealish was false 9 yesterday. Their system is so fluid that I don't want to be disrespectful, but as long as they're technical players who can look after the ball and understand what Pep's asking of them, you can play there. I'm not saying Grealish isn't good enough to play for City. I'm saying with what they already have, do they really need that for 100 mil? Which, you know what I mean?
I see Sterling gets 15, 20 goals from the left, and Grealish won't get you 15, 20 goals from the left.
No way.
So it's
I don't see that happening at all.
What's the plan? I don't know. Did the plan rely on maybe Kane coming in, and that's why it
probably
doesn't
did,
look to us? Maybe if Kane comes in on top of Grealish, we look at it like, Grealish, Kane, link up. But because that striker didn't come in, it's like you're replacing a 20-goal output left winger in Sterling with a guy that gets maybe 10, 15 assists and 5 to 10 goals. It's not really an upgrade. You've spent a lot of money, and they're not too well. There's an age gap between them, but it's not like Grealish is 21, 22 years of age where he's got 10 years ahead of him.
Exactly.
It's a mad one. It's working.
A man like Ferran Torres as well. Ferran Torres, they might put him centre mid, striker. They put him striker. You know what I mean? He does a job. They went Jesus, raw. I'm doing the thing on you, like on the FIFA thing, when you can change man's position and put the training on. And then like 6 weeks later, he's a right winger. Foden, like, I'm just gonna change you, bro. Sometimes you're gonna be a 9. Sometimes you're going to be an 11. Sometimes you're going to be 7.
You know, you did them intense courses on the game where 2 weeks and you become a left winger. It's like bang them out quickly.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't think Grealish can do that. So we'll have to see in it. We'll have to see. Let's keep it moving. City's next game is against Burnley at home. City win
5-0.
Burnley winless this season, couldn't even get the job done against Norwich. Yeah. Man said 5-0 comfy. Yeah, 5-0. All right, cool. Liverpool's next game is against Watford at the Vic. Watford got a new manager. We'll talk a little bit about them, but what do you think the score will be in that?
I think Liverpool
manager bounce, Ranieri, Tinkerman.
I think Liverpool, the Watford are the team that ended that invincible
season. They slapped them up 3-0, bro.
So I think that Liverpool are going to have some kind of, revenge on the cards that game. So I'm going to go 3-0 Liverpool.
Okay. You think they're going to go for it?
With Salah in this form, a bit of revenge on the cards, and Watford start to the season, it's like, you lot are going to get turned over.
You don't think the new manager bounce? Perfect time, international break?
Not against Liverpool.
Yeah,
and it's not like it's big Sam coming in, or it's like a defensive-minded coach coming in where they might just throw all their eggs in a defensive basket. You know what Ranieri's about already. So
okay, all right, cool. I'm gonna go Liverpool. Yeah, I think it might be a little bit too early for Watford to kind of get that going. Like it's international break's tough. I definitely think they'll give a good account of themselves though, because they've been playing so poorly. Had to change their manager. It wasn't going right. I do think they'll give a good account of themselves. But I think Liverpool.
Watford's weird to me, I don't know what you feel like, but without Troy Deeney, Watford doesn't seem like Watford. Like
it's different. 100%. I think they've lost. It's a whole new look Watford side. Well, we'll talk about them now, actually, since it's gone through to that. Yeah. Watford are the first team to sack their manager this year. I feel like that was coming. I feel like there's a lot of like, when you kind of don't watch what goes on at a club, it's easy for us to say like, typical, there's a sacking the manager, they don't give no one any time. But when you actually deep what they've done with that model, that has worked for their aspirations, innit? So if it's worked for what they want to achieve, which is staying in the Premier League for a sustained period of time, which they did. I think they did 5 years before they got relegated, then came straight back up. Like, it works for them. Even when they went down to the Championship with Ivic, or Ivic was in there, he started off well. Like first 5, 6, 7 games, he was doing all right. It wasn't really conceding much, but not really scoring. And then they still thought, this ain't really going to be sustainable. Got Cisco in, and then they went up easy. Then realized, he ain't really sustainable in the Prem. This guy's not got it. We'll just change it. So I rate that. It's the same. It's the same like with Chelsea. I know it's a complete different end of the spectrum. But it works for what they want to achieve, that revolving door. Like, if we don't think it's going right, and Watford fans have every right to say, nah. But have you seen them play? I just watched like an analysis on Watford, just on Sky there. I think Stephen Warnock was doing it, and Watford fans would agree. Horrendous. Like, they didn't have a clue under that manager at this level. So they needed to make a change. So, and with the Troy Deeney thing, they've lost Troy Deeney, they've lost Capu, they lost Decore, they lost Maps. You know what I'm saying? So that core of, like, Delafeo was in there at that time. They just they've lost that, and they've got to re-go again with a whole bunch of new players, and they've got some decent players there. Managed to keep Sarr, he's doing bits. Do you know what I mean? So I think with the right manager, it would be hard work for them to stay up. But
the vibe I get from them is I've seen teams kind of do well in the league before they go down, they come up again. But once they let go of those, let me give you an example. Middlesbrough. Let's talk about Middlesbrough in our heyday, like well, not heyday, but when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Giannino, Ravanelli, and they had a few man.
Viduka.
They was all right in the league, but then they'll get relegated and come back up. But as soon as all of them man left, they got relegated and they haven't come back since. And I think that's
Ravanelli, bruv.
Ravanelli, what debuted hat-trick. I'll never forget, man.
Ravanelli, bro. Hold tight,
I think Watford will go down and never come back up again.
You think?
Well, not never, but not for the foreseeable future. Yeah.
You think okay? So you think it'll be tough? So even if they go down with Ranieri, you think that it'll be difficult for them to get back up with him?
Yeah. I think there's too much change now. That era is gone where there was a pretty solid Premier League outfit, and it's a struggle now to get them back there.
Yeah, I can see why you think that. You know, there's a lot that's changed, and they've got to prove that they can cope without those Zend and Mendieta, big players. Yeah, big players, bruv. Used to be at what's it called, Middlesbrough back then, man. Big player. What's the guy with the goatee, with the white goatee, the black guy?
Oh yeah. What was his
name?
Remember
him? Can't remember his name, man. Didn't he used to play for Liverpool as well? Can't remember his name. Cisse. No, not the Cisse, not the striker. Someone will put it in the comments, man.
Well, Cisse had the blonde beard, the blonde goatee.
Yeah. Emerson with curls. Is it him? Oh, when he had curls, yeah. Midu. But yeah, I do think it's a big transition for them. They had to make the change, so we'll have to see how they do. I think it's gonna be tough. Do they have it in the locker? Well, I look at the teams that are awful at the moment, which is why I think they've got a chance of staying up here. I look at Norwich, definitely down. I look at Burnley. I tell you what, this could be it. Sean Dyche, he always manages to turn it around and that, but you're getting them vibes of, you know what, this is very, very peak. And Newcastle as well. Yes, Newcastle would probably make a change and then that might save them because they've got good players there, some decent players, but they're going to be down there as well. Leeds still without a win. Is it the end for them? I predicted Norwich. At the time, I did predict Brentford.
Yeah.
That's looking a bit mad, but I can only be honest with what I said at the time. And I think I put one of Newcastle or Burnley in there. Okay. I think their luck's just running out. You didn't
put Watford in there.
I didn't put Watford in there. I did, and that was under Cisco. And then when I started seeing how poorly he was doing, I was like, "Oof, it's tight." Yeah. But they made a change. So I'm going to stick with my prediction that they'll stay up, but I can see how hard it's going to be. Definitely going to be hard. So you predict that Watford obviously won't get the win in the next game. I think it'll be tough. I think they might lose 2-1. I think they'll get a bounce, but I think it'll be harder for Liverpool than people think. I think it'll be harder for people than they think. Yeah. We'll have to see. Next set of fixtures. Let's talk about your team, Arsenal, man. You got Crystal Palace Monday night. Vieira's Palace are looking all right after a dodgy start. Talk to me about Vieira before you talk about kind of the Arsenal breakdown.
Well, OG, you know about Vieira. You already know about Vieira. Vieira defined that classic Arsenal United rivalry the same way Keane defined it for United. I think as much as it was Ferguson versus Sir Alex versus Wenger, and United Arsenal and the history behind, Keane versus Vieira is the best rivalry I've seen in football. Maybe it's because I was, born in England and grew up in the Premier League. But in terms of a personal player rivalry, two captains that the rest of the squad listened to, and the rest of the squad were filled with legends and greats, but they still bowed down to Keane and Vieira. So for me, Vieira, OG. The only thing for me with Vieira is he's just short of greatest captain ever, because for me, it's Tony Adams. But, that's because Tony Adams won league titles in 3 different decades and so on. But Vieira, look how he went in against Tottenham. He spoke about Harry Kane, but he was asked about Harry Kane before, and he said Thierry Henry's a different level to Kane. After the game, after the 3-0 smashing, he's like, I'm used to beating Tottenham. So if he's going in with that mentality,
he gave the energy.
He's got that edge. So he's going to go into this Arsenal game thinking to himself, I should have been given a chance as Arsenal manager, not some guy that hasn't even managed before. Let me show them what I can do. Let me show them that I can be a potential for the future. So I think he's going to take this game very serious. And Palace always do against us anyway. It's a London derby.
Yeah, Derek agrees with you there. Says Vieira about to show Arteta the art of management. And Dexter says, Bayern don't wait until the ship is sinking. Even when they're winning, they change managers because they are always forward thinking. I've guessed that you're kind of relating that to Man United. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there about. But I worried for Patrick Vieira the first few games. I think they couldn't score, knocked out of the League Cup. It was by Watford actually, I think.
Yeah,
I think it was, and they just couldn't get going at all. And then they get that draw at West Ham and look good, and then they come back from that. You know what I mean? Beat up Spurs, and they look like they just build a little bit of momentum. And even the games that they've been playing against Brighton should have won.
Yeah.
You know, they let Neil Maupay in at the last minute. They had chances to kill the game. I looked at them yesterday. I watched that game whole 90 minutes, and I'm like, rah, they're brocking up Leicester. They just need a goal. Couldn't get the goal. Centre half makes a mistake. They score. Then they get countered. Then Vardy scores. But then to show the resilience, 2-0 down, to come back, get it to 2-2, and had chances to get the third. So there's definitely something there under Vieira in a squad that's really changing. You know what I mean? The one that Roy Hodgson had, a lot of experienced players there, older players there, coming to the end of their careers or end of their contracts anyway. Yeah. He had to really change it around. Elise, he was brilliant when he came on. The young kid, he was really good. So
good window. Vieira done well.
Yeah, good window, and they still got Eze to come back as well, who's a fantastic player. Do you know what I mean? He's out of a long-term injury, so I like the look of them. I think they can give you a game. I think you'll be all right though. But break down your performance against Brighton, man, because I was listening on the radio coming back from my game. I obviously watched the highlights. Lucky to come out of a point, or just good defending and stuff.
I'd say a draw was a fair result, but again, similar to Liverpool City, if you're going to ask me what team maybe done more to deserve it, it was probably Brighton. They had 20 plus shots, we had 8. So I think that pretty much tells you who was more on the offensive. Albeit, out of those 20 shots, 2 on target. Ramsdale didn't have much to do throughout the game, apart from that last kind of back post header coming across that he saved. He didn't really have much else to do. Emil Smith-Rowe had that chance where he should have cut it back 2-on-1 to Saka. He didn't. He had a shot. It didn't go in. I'm worried because that Tottenham game to me led into this game with excitement. But what this game done is take out all of that excitement and make us wonder if that Tottenham game was not flash in the pan, but was it more down to Tottenham being poor than us being great? Because I look at the Brighton performance and I liken it to Burnley and Norwich performance more than I liken it to Tottenham performance. So out of the last 4 games, we've had 10 points, but we've had 3 poor performances overall with the team that is fully fit, aside from Xhaka for a couple of games, and with all the personnel that Arteta signed. So it's only 4 games. But when we come out this international break and we've got 2 home games against Palace and Villa, I need Arteta to show me a style of play. Because we defended well, and we've defended well for 4 games now. That's cool. We've got a brand new backline, brand new goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale. That's cool. Partey's been fit for a few games. Nice. But the transition lacks. The creative aspect of the attack lacks. The clinical aspect of the attack lacks. You see Oba. Oba's not the same Oba we saw a year and a half ago.
No, he's not. It's like he was ready for that Tottenham game, though. He was like, right, okay, I'm going to be on it. And then it's
and even the Tottenham,
it's like they rose to the occasion for that, innit? And then kind of went back to normal.
They did. I liked Oba's celebration, but at the same time, I didn't like it because I'm thinking,
it's a little bit.
Henry done that celebration when we was top boys, we was winning.
Bro, I think that's worse. I think that's worse than Townsend doing the Sue, bro. I think that's a bigger disrespect.
Don't try to save face over your side.
Hey, Henry's a living legend, bro. Like in the crowd and that. I don't really think Oba's got any business doing that, bro.
Townsend done Sue and then patted Ronaldo on the back on the way out. Let me get your shirt, mate. No, but real talk.
No, you're right.
We haven't seen enough, bro. We haven't seen enough for me to be confident about Arteta yet. He still seemed in over his head. But if we go beat Palace and Villa and we put in a better performance, or even if we beat them both 1-0, we have Leicester away, the 3rd game following international break. That game to me is going to be the next Tottenham at home, where that game will tell us how far we've come with Arteta. Palace and Villa at home should be not formalities, but the performance should be there. You can never go into a Premier League game and say 3 points, 100%. No team can. But you can say perform,
Yeah.
So that's
I
the bare minimum.
I looked at even when Lacazette came on for Aubameyang, even the way he looked after the ball. Do you know what I mean? There was a couple highlights showing how poor Aubameyang was against Brighton. You know, bouncing off his chest. You know what I mean? Lukaku's second touch. You know, the things that you say about him. it was happening to Oba, I saw it. Little brick foot. You know what I mean? Bouncing off him, and then Laka came on and kind of just little half turn, little set. He set through someone, and it was was it Smith Rowe? I think it was.
Yeah, Smith Rowe.
Yeah, nice little pass. You know what I mean? Like, just had a bit more to do with the game. So yeah, I just feel like you're playing in patches and moments. I think you have settled down though. I do think that, you know, when Edu said, just let us get the players fit and then judge us. I'm not saying you've done amazing since then, but you can see something building. I have to say, I've been really impressed with Ramsdale. I have to say. I think a lot of Arsenal fans were very underwhelmed with that. I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
But he's come in and he's looked confident. You know what I mean? He's really buying into that whole, like, he's definitely like doing that whole thing. You know, when a player just does that whole thing, like, yeah, I've made a save. Blah, come on. Like, he knows how to endear himself to the fans. And I respect the hustle, but he's backing it up with performances and saves and stuff.
Did you see that Q&A where they asked him what his favorite food was?
Nah, what did he say?
And this is going to fall into what we just said. He said Caribbean food.
Is that what he said?
Already.
Ramsdale's man them. Oh, that's it.
Troops is backing him no end. Robbie's backing him no end. Yardman's going to back him no end. It's the same with Maitland-Niles. I've been trying to tell him that Maitland-Niles ain't good enough for a while, but it's like, he's from my area. He's from my... leave it out, bro. Like, Ozil's from my place as well, but Ozil was finished. I have to say it.
He likes the curry go to Razapija, Ramsdale. Big up Ramsdale, man.
That's all Laurie's been talking about. He was like, man, it's yard food. He's ready.
Until he starts making mistakes, they can say he's been yamming too much dumplings and that. You see it. You see it, bro. Yeah, 100%. No, but Smith Rowe keeps looking bright as well. I like the look of him. He looks really good. Just like the way he receives the ball. I like the way he utilizes the ball. He just makes good decisions a lot of the time. I like that, and he's a young player, obviously growing. Palace. Yeah.
Who do you think's got the highest ceiling, Saka or Smith Rowe?
That's a really good question.
Because I had a discussion yesterday about it, and I said, and it's an interesting one because your first instinct is to say Saka, but then I think Saka's closer to his ceiling right now than Emile Smith Rowe is. So does that mean we haven't even seen Emile Smith Rowe close to his ceiling yet?
That's a really good question, Turkish. I feel like because of the type of position that Smith Rowe plays and the type of style that he has, that style of play I feel needs to be worked on, and there's more space to grow there. Where I think when you're like a winger like Saka, just going at players, you just got to get past. I feel like you can do that fairly quickly in your career. Young, fearless, get at man. You'll learn a bit more maturity in terms of when to cross, when not, when to shoot and stuff like that. But with like a ball carrying player and a player who's supposed to be providing and assisting and being quite creative, I feel like Smith Rowe could have a higher ceiling. Whether he reaches that and outshines Saka in their careers, I don't know. As an English guy of two young English kids doing well, I want them both to do well. I don't do the whole rival thing of wanting these young players to do shit because they play for not my team. Like when there's genuine good young talent that's English, I want them to do well. Just not against my team. And they're doing that. They're really flourishing. So Saka looks unreal. He really does. But I feel like Smith Rowe, the way he plays and the intelligence that he has is it's a different type of player. So I think that needs more working on. So I think he might have a bigger ceiling.
Yeah, I get you. But Saka is better. Yeah, I get you.
But Saka's better. Do you see what I'm saying? 100% Saka's better.
And even there, we've got 8 votes and it's 4-4. So it kind of shows you in the chat that it's a bit, up and down balance.
Yeah, 100%. Score prediction: Arsenal, Palace. Before we keep it moving.
Palace, Emirates, Vieira return. I don't want to embarrass him. Let me say 2-0 Arsenal. 2-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna match you on that. I think 2-0 is a safe bet on that one. Let's move on. Chelsea versus Southampton. Chelsea 3, Southampton 1. Southampton picking up that red card. Ward-Prowse. I did think that was a red card. How do you see Chelsea at the moment? Good for them to bounce back, obviously, after a couple of disappointing results. And even Tuchel saying, I think we're suffering with a little bit of, feeling sorry for ourselves. Need to get Lukaku involved a little bit more. Lukaku didn't score that game, but comfortable win for them in the end, even though they got pegged back to 1-1. How you seeing that game and Chelsea in general?
I think I predict that Chelsea will win the league, and I'm sticking by that. I think they probably need this kind of questioning now to come out the back end and become stronger. Lukaku is definitely not a problem, but Lukaku is definitely not being used to the best of his ability. I think Conte said it last week, where he looked at it and said he's not being used how he should be. He should be used. So that's still to come as well, in my opinion. I think they're still to find the right balance. They've got a whole heap of attackers: Ziyech, Werner, Pulisic, Havertz, Lukaku, so many. But there's only 3-4 positions to put them in. I don't think they've found that balance yet. I think he's got a good defensive balance into transition, but I think the attack is not quite there yet. And that's a worry for the rest of the league. And I don't normally see teams start a season on the front foot and then go on and win the league without any humps in the way, without any questions, without any doubts.
City done it last year.
Yeah, there's been a couple.
City
and Liverpool, well, not last year, but I remember City when they ran away with it, when Man United finished second, and Liverpool when they ran away with it 2 seasons ago. Those were the seasons where, early on you could say they ran away with it. But every other season, there's humps in the road. And I think Chelsea are facing that. They was lucky that the red card was given, and then they went on to win the game. Because if they drew that game into international break, 2 losses and a draw, it'd be a very different mood. Yeah, Chelsea fans, 2 losses and a draw, and it's the manager out.
Tuchel out, mate. Tuchel out. Yeah, 100%. They turn quicker than anyone. I feel like they hit a little bit of a bump, and I agree with everything you're saying. They're basically saying, what we're basically saying is that he's struggling just to find that kind of knitting together of their attacking players. Defensively, as an outfit, extremely solid. They don't concede many goals. I can't even remember the last time they conceded more than 1 in a game. When they lose, they usually lose by 1 or draw. Do you know what I mean? By conceding 1. So he's got that basis. They know their jobs. He's just trying to fine tune the top end of the pitch. And I agree. I think that will come. They've got too much attacking players there for that not to develop, which is the scary thing. They're kind of in and around there without not even hitting top gear yet. And they got a manager who knows what he's doing. Exactly.
He won them the Champions League, like you said. He knows what he's doing, so they can look at that and say, "Well, we should listen to him."
100%. Luazi says, Ollie has a smash and grab rep with the Big Six. Man United play better without the ball, so it'll be interesting to see how the Big Six teams handle our counter. 100%. I think teams have figured Ollie out basically put a low block in front of them. 100%. Yeah, but that's why we get joy against the bigger teams, because they're not on none of that. Just let Man United have it and we'll go and get... No, they're on the front foot. Liverpool are on us. City are on us. Chelsea will try and beat on us, even though we're kind of feeling each other out. It was 0-0 last year. And that is why we do better against the bigger teams, because we just play on the counter and we exploit them.
And that's sorry, just to go back to us, that's what I'm worried about. Like, when you finish 8th twice, teams come in against you with a different approach. Maybe an approach where they think they can take more from that game than they maybe fought in the last 3-4 years. But when you start hitting form and maybe you get 10 points out of 12, like Arsenal have done, and won 3 out of the last 4, Palace and Villa might be looking at it like, maybe we go back to the approach where we stifle them, because they've still got a lack of creativity. And if we stifle them, we might nick it, or we might get a draw, and it starts looking bad for Arsenal again. That's why as happy as I am with the last 4 games overall, I know that round the corner, teams will start stifling us again, and Arteta still hasn't worked out the attack to get it right. So it's the same with you guys. When you guys play teams that think they can take it to you guys, you lot will do them more often than not. But when you come up against a team that says, this is United, they got Tom, Dick and Harry, we need to set up shop, it becomes a very different game. And that's where Ole and Arteta fall, in my opinion.
100% agree. Like, the whole reason, I look at the reason why we didn't get the result against Everton, which I wish it was as easy to say this, it wasn't because we didn't start Ronaldo and Pogba. Like, although those decisions, like you said, was like, wow, the international break's nearly there. Like, is there, just play them. I agree with that. But it's not easy enough to say that's the reason we didn't win the game.
No, 100%.
Because that type of performance, we've been seeing that with them man on the pitch. Like, against Villarreal, them players were playing, we nearly lost. Like, we nearly didn't win. Like, it was moments in the last second, that saved the game. Against West Ham, same thing. Like, those players were on the pitch. Against Wolves, where we nicked it 1-0. Ronaldo wasn't there, but all our top players were there. Like, it doesn't matter who plays in the system. We don't dominate teams, and that's it. Teams just literally say, Man United, tell you what, let them have it in their period of dominance. We'll ride it. There might be a couple of crosses you got to clear. There might be a little flash shot, might be a ball through from Bruno, but we'll sit in tight and we will catch them on the counter attack. We will get them, and we'll get a chance. And even Newcastle done it to us for large periods, and then we opened them up within a 10-minute period, and the game was over. Same with Leeds. We've started off a bit shaky. That's the quality we have. That's the quality we have.
That comes down to the players, not the manager, really, isn't it?
Exactly. Chelsea's next game is against. Let me just grab the fixtures up real quick. That is where are Chelsea? Chelsea go away to Brentford. Tough game. Let's get into that. Chelsea Brentford next game. Give me a prediction and then touch on Brentford win against West Ham.
Definitely a tough game. That Brentford win against West Ham, their best win so far this season, and I include the Arsenal one at the beginning in that because it's one thing to start a season as a surprise package, but it's another thing 7 games in to go beat a team that's in Europe, a team that's done well last season with an experienced manager in Moyes, 2-1 away from home. So I think this is actually an interesting game. When I look at the fixtures, just behind Leicester, Man United, Brentford, Chelsea is probably the next biggest fixture for me that weekend because it's hard to judge. It's hard because how's Tuchel going to go into that game? I think about that more than Brentford. I think Brentford are a given. They're going to go into that game, trying to shut up shop for the majority and pick off Chelsea when they can. But how's Tuchel going to approach that game? Is he going to try and take it to them away from home? Is he going to try and get some goals in? Obviously, they got 3 against Southampton. Prediction.
It's tight.
Tight one.
It's very tight.
I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea win.
Yeah, 2-1 Chelsea win. I see they obviously are capable of going to Brentford and winning. Of course they are. I'm going to go with a draw. I think Brentford are going to give a spirited fight, and I'm going to go with a 1-1. I feel like Brentford. I feel like Brentford are going to
very important, man.
Very, very. And just on Brentford, big win for them against West Ham. Impressive performance as well. And they're just, that's what happens when you're the new package, isn't it? People don't really know how to play against you. They don't know what to expect. Leeds did it last year, struggling a bit this year. I remember when Wolves came up the first year, and the second year was like, wow. When Sheffield United came up, that's what they were like. Do you know what I mean? So, and they were like 6 at one point before the pandemic happened, and then boom, it went to shit. But they were a very difficult team to play against. So I think Brentford are going to fall into that category where they seem to be doing everything right at the moment. And they're going to give Chelsea a proper game. I'm going to go for a 1-1. Next game is I'm going to talk about is Villa. Villa obviously losing to Spurs 2-1 yesterday. Tight game. Their next game is against not Everton. Their next game is against Wolves. Midlands derby there. Black Country derby at home. Talk to me about Aston Villa and a little bit about the Spurs.
The Spurs finally got their win, innit? This first win between the international breaks for them in the league. It is what it is, I guess. The one thing about Nuno, before he went Tottenham, I rated Nuno. I thought he was a decent manager. I thought he done well. We just talked about Wolves, but now he's at Tottenham. Obviously, I'm hoping for the worst. It is what it is. And so far, Tottenham are at a point where their great period is coming to an end, if not at the end. And that great period didn't bring any trophies. All it done was bring a Harry Kane and a Son and a few good performances and a Champions League final in reality.
A couple of finals, yeah.
So for me, it's like, yes, they won against Villa 2-1, but as an Arsenal fan, I want to go back to the days when I'm not thinking about them unless we're playing them. When we're playing them, cool. When we're not playing them, back in the bin you go. And I think slowly but surely, and where Arsenal are right now, it might be cheeky of me to say, but Tottenham are finished. Unless they pull something out the bag where they still manage to get 100 million for Kane next summer and reinvest it properly, which I highly doubt they can get 100 for Kane next summer. That's how they fix this issue. They should have done that this summer. They should have sold Kane potentially last summer, but they didn't. They held on. And in the end, you're going to have a player with very little value or some value that you won't be able to reinvest in the side. And then where do you go from there? Because you're not a club that, spends out of this world money. You spend sustainable manner and you fail to take that risk. When you gave Son the contract, you should have sold Kane, and by you, I'm saying Tottenham, and reinvested it like Klopp did with Coutinho. And look at Liverpool and how they turned. None of them Liverpool fans wanted Coutinho to go. But in the end, they sold them, and 2 years later, ask Liverpool fans if they miss Coutinho. No, they don't. So I think Tottenham should have done that, and I'm happy they kept Kane. And essentially, 2-1 win against Villa. Yes, they're above us, 2 points above us, but I'm not in this game to finish above Tottenham. I'm in this game to try and see Arsenal challenge. And yes, we're far off that, but Tottenham are far off that at the moment too.
It does look like it's the end of their thing. I do get what you're saying. Like I don't see where they go from here. I don't see Nuno tearing up any trees there.
Yeah.
Not with that squad. The Harry Kane thing's going to rumble on. Yes, he'll score goals. Of course he will. He's a good player. He's a very good player. But he doesn't want to be there. So as soon as it gets to summer, he's got to go again. Do City come back in again when Haaland's going to be on the market? When Mbappe's going to be on the market? Who knows? They might switch up their situation. So where does Kane even go? It's tight. Chelsea won't need him. Liverpool, maybe Firmino goes. Maybe Liverpool. That's a really weird one. It's not something we've ever heard of. But Liverpool's going to go and spend. I know he won't be worth 100 million, but let's say he's worth 80 million next year, 75 million. It's not really Liverpool's budget, is it? They don't really go. So he's never going to go there. He's not going to go United. We're still going to have Ronaldo for the next year and maybe go in for Haaland. Can't see us going for Kane anymore.
PSG might.
PSG, maybe,
Mbappe
is going to leave.
Messi, Neymar, either side of Kane.
That could work. Would Kane go out there? I don't know. I just can't. It's a really, really weird one. Maybe Real Madrid. Maybe I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, but I definitely agree with you. They look like they're going nowhere. They really do. Just quickly, super chat here from Jamal Abdul. Big up yourself, bro. Says Flex, honor and privilege. Met you last Saturday at Old Trafford. I was the guy in the green coat, fan cam. Thank you so much, Flex. Appreciate you. And Josh, big up yourself, man. It was good I do remember seeing you. And my first time in Manny, amazing weekend
as well.
Yeah, there you go. Turkish, I've deleted Instagram for my sanity. You got my number, bro.
I think I saved it. I'm pretty sure I saved it. But your messages will still be there. Big up Jamal, man. He's a big supporter of like my channel, your channel, us. I met him the other day too. Nothing but love.
Yes. 100%.
Big up Jamal,
he came through just showing big love, man. So anytime you're about, man, around the stadiums or whatever, I know you get about. Come holler, man. Come say cool. Tottenham's next game is against Newcastle away. Wow, Newcastle are struggling, mate. Newcastle are really, really bad.
How did St. Maximin miss that chance? I don't know if you saw.
Oh, yeah, I did.
And he's in my fantasy team as well. I'm just looking at him like, oh, what are you doing, my guy?
He's trying to sabotage your thing on purpose, mate. Tottenham are bad as well. I'm going to go with draw.
I'm saying
1-1. Go with draw. I'll go with draw. And the Villa Wolves game. Wolves have a good win. Huang getting a brace. Villa at Villa Park. Villa Wolves.
1-1 as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
1-1. And they just beat Newcastle. Wolves did. Okay. And the next game that we haven't covered, Leeds' next game is against Southampton. Southampton obviously losing against Chelsea and Leeds picking up the win narrowly against Watford. This game's at Southampton. Southampton are struggling this year. Now without James Ward-Prowse as well. Southampton are 17th, bro, without a win.
I predicted them to get relegated.
Did you? Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, and that's another. That's what, again, talking about the Watford thing. There's a lot of teams down there who are not really doing it. You could. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I look at Southampton. Ings and Vestergaard both sold this summer. No one really brought in that.
Bertrand as well.
Yeah, that level. Bertrand left, and now Ward-Prowse is out on top of it. And with Ward-Prowse, they were 17th. So I just think it's a mad season for Hasenhüttl and Southampton now. Imagine Hasenhüttl a couple of years ago was being linked to top jobs, you know?
You see, it's all about timing with this. Yeah. You know, you go back a few years ago, Eddie Howe was getting lauded for how well he does with such a small budget. Give him the Tottenham job. Arsenal job. Obviously, Graham Potter's doing really well now. Fair play, but he's getting linked with big jobs. Sean Dyche in the past, it's like, what could he do with a bigger team? We look at the squad that he's had. Timing's everything, though, isn't it? Because you look now at where it's like, you know, not Dean Smith. What's the guy from at Sheffield United? I always forget his name.
Oh,
not Dean Smith.
How can I forget his name, man? Because
that's gonna annoy me. Dave
Wilder.
Chris Wilder. Chris Wilder. David Wilder. Chris Wilder was getting linked, you know, with big jobs. Or saying, you know, look how well he's done with this team, back-to-back promotions, League One, Championship, Prem. making them this, that, and the other. And now look, he lost it.
Yeah.
He's lost his way there. They sacked him, and you know what I mean. So it just shows you, innit? Like it's all about timing with these managers. But Hassan, who 100%, he's under pressure, man.
Yeah,
he's under pressure.
100%. Villa.
He's under pressure.
What are we? Who they got? Southampton got who?
Southampton Leeds at Southampton.
Yeah, sorry, it's Villa, Wolves, Southampton, Leeds.
Yeah.
And Leeds are kind of in that season where it's all right. You impressed us the first season, but how are you going to build on it the second season?
They're struggling without a win this year as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. And I like Bielsa, but I just haven't seen. I haven't seen enough.
Actually, they got one win. Sorry, they got one win. Just won the last game. Yeah, sorry, it's hard with Bielsa. It's hard. All right. So what you got? Win. Yeah, Leeds win to keep piling on the pressure.
3-1.
And then, okay, I'm gonna go Southampton. Yeah, I can't see Southampton winning, man. 2-1 Leeds. 2-1 Leeds. Norwich 0, Burnley 0. Norwich still rooted to the bottom of the table. That's their first point of the season against Burnley. They their next game they travel to. Oh no, they got Brighton at home.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Brighton should do that, man. Brighton should. Who's at home?
Norwich.
Norwich, Brighton. Yeah, Brighton should get the job done. They should. This Norwich team might be on course for, you know, that Derby County team from a few years back, and some of the worst.
Derby and Stoke had the worst records, didn't they?
Yeah, Ben Diaz, a massive loss for them. The amount of goals and assists he gets, massive,
huge. So, they just haven't. They just haven't been at the races, and they look. You know, they just look like they don't invest enough when they come back up. They're in trouble. They're in trouble, big trouble. Jamal Abdul says Instagram became too much and just needed to get rid of it. Hey, listen, I say the same about any form of social media and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If it is getting too much and people are getting onto you, or you see yourself just spending so much time in it, taking time and just fucking with your energy, turn it off.
Yeah.
I promise you, your life will not change. Your life will change for the better. I promise you. Just take a break.
When I turn my notifications off for WhatsApp groups, Instagram, and Twitter, I done that maybe a few years ago. One of the best things I've done. One of the best things I've done.
And you're in control of it. When you want to see what's going on, you can go and have a look. Your phone's not going off every time. It's honestly this online world. I've seen it. I've seen some of the stuff people's put out today. Shocking. You know, people just on the online world, especially when it comes to football opinion. I've seen women have to go through that. I've seen people of different colors, different ethnicities, different religions have to go. It's pathetic. All for having a football opinion. Do you know what I mean? I promise you guys, if you're going through that, lock it off. Turn it off. Don't fuck with your energy, man. So yeah, big up to Jamal saying I had to get off of Instagram. Just protect yourself, man. Protect yourself 100%. Don't think that the people that you're not seeing anymore on there, don't think that they're the winners. Some people think that I'm making them win if I come off. Yeah. No, you're the winner because you get to protect your energy.
Exactly.
But yeah, just to finish off on Norwich, I think they lose. I think they lose, man. I think Brighton are playing really well right now. Unlucky not to get over the line against you guys. Norwich 0, Brighton 2. I'm going to go with.
I'm going to go 2-1 just because they're at home, but 2-1 Brighton.
Yeah, okay. Listen, Turkish, always a pleasure to review the games and that and do some stuff, man. I saw someone else put in the comments, can't wait for your big shit show. Big six show.
What are you doing? That's my thing. Hey, where's the complaint section? Josh, HR, someone.
Bro, it's a tongue twister, bro. Allow me, bro. Big, bro, I can't even say that. Big six show. Jesus. That's a big shit. The Big Six show later is on your channel. What time can people find that, man?
10 p.m, my guy. 10 p.m. tonight, live, hour and a half, as always.
Love that. Make sure you guys go check it out. Go subscribe to Turkish's channels and hit him up on the socials, even though his notifications are off and he won't see it. You know what I mean?
Come on.
Turkish, always a pleasure, bro. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you lot are new. Like I said, the road to 100K is fully up and running. We're at 77K or 76K or something like that now. So let's keep pushing, people. Let's keep pushing. We're out of it.
Get the video likes up to 500. There's 800.
Oh, this always happens. Always happens. They forget, bro. Do you know what I'm saying, man? You heard Turkish's words, man. We're out of it, guys. Peace.